It is warm. I am warm. Oh, I am terribly warm. In theory, we're live. Oh, I am not ready for this. I've not turned my lights on. I've not closed the garage door because I was hoping that there would be some airflow change. One moment, please. I do apologize. And I call myself a professional. God. What is this? Amateur hour? No. No, it's not amateur hour. No. Why would it be amateur hour? This, my fellow humanoids, this is a Doug. Hello. This is a Doug trying to figure out why he decided to restart his computer 5 minutes before going live. Other than, it seemed like a good idea because we had crashes on Tuesday. And it wasn't enjoyable. Tuesday was not enjoyable. Everything was going wrong. But this is why we're trying again. You know, we're going to try again. We're going to count the pieces of our PrusABlok mini printer that we know and can trust and we can verify. Or whatever the thing is, without necessarily taking the printer apart, because that doesn't seem like a good idea to actually take it apart and count all the pieces. Something like that. Come on, Doug, get with it. I'm with it. I'm hip. I am cool. You're Cragord. Welcome to the rest of you. The rest of you. Gosh, the collective. Yes. Hello. Time-appropriate welcomings to your faces to this indeed Thursday. That is a Thursday. Today's agenda. We're going to plate up. We're going to finish plating. In theory. We're going to do it. In theory. We're going to get it done. Because I'm bored of doing admin. I don't want to do admin anymore. I want to talk to you guys. I want to go back to that Printables robot thing, RoboPad thing. Well, of course it's Printables, it's me. I want to go back to that RoboPad thing where it's the cleaner upper that's got the conveyor belts and I want to go back to that. That seemed cool. We can go back to that. We can. Just not now. Just not now. Anyway, what was I going to say? Yes, so there are several of you that are new here. Several of you have shown up in recent points in time because Prusa actually tweeted about the PrusABlok Mini, which is kind of funny that they did that. I wasn't expecting them to do it with the picture that I just sent to Tommy over there. I just sent him a picture of it printing and he's like, yeah, that'll do. What? So there are a few of you that have subscribed. Welcome. Welcome. And yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I'm glad you decided to stick around to see this. Yes, so this, let's get on with it because I'm boring you. Let's get back on with it, which I should send something to print before we actually go any further. Let's see if we can actually print on a live stream. Let's do it. Hey, Cragord. Hey, Cragord. What should we print? I want a giveaway from Prusa. I want 800 grams of Ultra Glow. Oh, goodbye your nozzle. Goodbye to your nozzle. Which leads to the question as to how is everyone? Sorry, I've got something stuck to my foot, which is irritating me. It's a piece of tape that should have gone in the bin. Anyway, what do we print? Do we just try and print a yeah, let's do that. Let's send a piece of the PrusABlok mini Printables printer to the PrusABlok printer. Prusa slicer. Let's do that. Let's do that. that seems like a fun thing to do. So I'm going to quickly reopen Prusa Slicer, or change the Prusa Slicer that I've got open. Prusa Slicer. Turn it on. Scale it. Transition to that Prusa Slicer. And then let's bring in the motor block. Where is that their motor block? It's in PrusABlok Mini motor holder. There it is. And then we need to add support enforcers only. Infill 10. Print settings, we need 3 perimeters. We're doing 0.2 layer height. If I'm going too quickly, shout at me. And then we add a support enforcer of a box. We move the support enforcer to go up mildly into, and then we scale it like so and like so. I said like so. Gosh. And then scale it a bit thinner. Move it up. So that should be touching. Move it away from, well, no. Middle it, scale it. In theory, that should do, and it shouldn't have any interference with the rest. And then we go back to print settings. We go support material, and we go for organic detachable. View, hello. Doug, if you can see the chat, say a pickle sandwich. Why would I say pickle sandwich? That is a question. Joe, why do you want me to say pickle sandwich? This isn't a pre-recording. It's not a pre-record. Or are you just trying to see how long the delay is? Or are you seeing that I've actually got the chat visible? That support didn't work. Right. Right. Is it not touching? Probably not. Somehow I managed to lose both the Tinkercad copy and the Slicer copy of one of the Marble Run pieces. The Slicer version was because I have a bad habit of just deleting on the plate, put a new object on without changing the name, and then saved over the file. Yes. I think last time you couldn't see live chat. At least you weren't responding much to it. I could not see. Oh, Tuesday was horrible. I could not see the chat at all on Tuesday. And it was horrible because I couldn't see it. Because it kept going disconnected, reconnected, disconnected, reconnected, disconnected, reconnected, and so on and so forth. And honestly, it sucked. Yeah, there we go. That's the support material. Right. Which means I'm going to send that to the PrusABlok printer, and we are going to see it go. That is a pickle sandwich, Cragord. You are correct. That is a pickle and a sandwich in emoji form. Or are they emoticons, but colloquially called emojis? Have a drink. Oh. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Here it is. Get the right camera. I recorded a GIF, a GIF. Let me say it correctly. I recorded a GIF And that GIF was a time lapse of the Gigantoblock that I printed. And the white balance is blown out on this camera because it's pink. And I tried to print one on Tuesday and it didn't work. And I'm trying to work out if this is actually square or not. Is this square? It looks square to me. Let's take a printer block that was printed on a different printer. There we go. That looks square to me. Does that look good? Is autofocus ruining it? To me, mostly. That's mostly fine. Wow, focus. I need to turn off autofocus. I think the camera makes it look not square. Use a scale and check it. I don't have any bananas. But I think that's not what you mean. You mean a set of calipers. One moment while I just turn off the autofocus on this camera. This one. Then we go configure video. Camera control, exposure, turn off auto exposure. There we go. And focus, turn off autofocus. There we go. Right. And then I need to focus it. Well, I need to... Ah! No! I need to camera control, exposure. No. There is no granularity in the camera controls. That one. That one looks better. And then we get the focus and we find the focus point. Let's find the focus point, Doug. Somewhere there. There we go. How's that, Joe? Does this look reasonable? Because that, to me, looks very reasonable. In terms of scale, we've got 32.06 on the Z. No, on one of the angles. I don't know if that's X or Y. 32.06. We've got 32.08. And then, on the Z, 31.94. It was 31.94. That is a very square block. Maybe. Maybe. It's a very dimensionally accurate block. So we've got that going for us. And the motor block is started. Has started, I should say. I'm happy with this. I am happy with this. I need to put together a list of potential next Kickstarters. Well, I have thoughts, but I'm not saying them on the internet. I will say them to you directly. So that can be a conversation for another day, Joe. Right. Telling you, I am currently a happy bunny. I am currently very much a happy bunny. Because we've got a block that came out square, mostly. And it's mostly evenly sized, and we've got a motor block holder being printed on the PrusABlok. We've got a motor block being printed on the PrusABlok printer. I mean, how can it get better than that right there? Can it get better than that right there? Because it's doing what it's supposed to do. It is doing the rep wraps. It's printing its own replacement parts using the correct print settings. No, wait, that's the one that has the updated spacing on it. So yes, it's printing the upgraded part. It's printing the revised part. It's doing the thing. It's doing the rep wrap. I'm gesturing the wrong direction. It's doing the rep wrap. Right there. It's great. It's actually great. Just out of curiosity, how close does the PrusABlok Gigantoblock match a real Prusa Mini Gigantoblock? That is a good question. Do I have a Gigantoblock printed off? I've got a 1x2. I've got a 1x2, so we can do the Z and either the X or the Y. So I can do that when I find the right scene to go to. This one, transition. So on the Z, the Prusa Minis were getting me spot on. Well, yeah, spot on 32. And on the X or the Y, also spot on 32. So that could be anything like belt tensioning that's throwing me off there, I would guess. I would guess it's belt tension, because I have not checked those belts properly. I just assembled it and started printing. But that, Ken, is a good question that we need to find out properly. So, do I have anything that was printed on the PrusABlok? Yes, I do. I do have a thing printed on the PrusABlok. I printed out a base block on the PrusABlok before it became the PrusABlok. So the base block on the PrusABlok before it became the PrusABlok. 16.06 for the Z, and 15.95, 16.02, 15.95, 96, 15.95. Is it the corners that are doing that? Because that's mostly the same. Yeah, that's the same. And then 16.4, 0.04, 0.03, 0.04. Sorry, you're getting reflection. And then just for good measure, rotate it 180 degrees on the Z. Yeah, that's fine. And this was printed without me having done the belt tensioning, so I've tightened the belts now. But it's not on this one. But having tightened the belts and being, you know, actually 32, like, I can't complain, because that 0.0 and then a number off is just way beyond what I personally care about, especially from, no offense to myself, a toy printer. Why am I so jazzed? A toy printer, there we go. I'm really jazzed about this. I'm properly happy today that this is just doing what it needs to do. It's just doing the thing. I'm not going to jinx it. Also, I didn't check how long it's going to take to print. How long is that going to take? That's going to take 2 hours 20. I might bump up the speed a little bit. Yeah, but it's there. We can watch it. It's just there. Just there. Just up here. We can see it printing as we carry on with the boring admin that I've been avoiding for the last 20 minutes. Shush. Shush, Cragord. Shush. No one asked. No one asked. The heart reactions are coming in. Those are pretty good results. Yeah, exactly. Those are pretty good results. I can't... It's a toy. What more can I expect? It's a toy. Am I discounting it a little bit? Maybe. Am I being overly harsh? Probably. Is anybody else going to make one? I doubt it. But hey, that's why I'm doing this bit. So that people have the choice. And your comment on last week's stream of, shouldn't I be placing up the connectors as well? Yeah, but no, but yeah. Like, I think so, but at the same time I don't, because I mean, I'm conflicted. Like, if I include connectors on this, first off, connectors are better in PETG. PETG, they've got that flex. They're more forgiving. We know this. Also, you might already have a surplus of connectors from other projects that you've done. Like, if you've done any level of PrusABlok, you've probably got a container full that's not a PrusABlok. That I should really change that. You've probably got a tub full of connectors that you have. So, sorry, my eye's gone really itchy all of a sudden. You've probably got a tub of connectors from the other things that you printed. And if you are going to print any, you're going to be printing the GigantoBlok connectors for the 200% scale blocks that are used for this piece. So, who knows? Also, you can download a plate of extra connectors from the BaseBlok repo, which, not the repo, the BaseBlok project. So you're fine. You're fine. P10, I'm going to take a guess, P109, but it's not going to be P109, is it? Because I'm just taking a guess. I'm going to go to Printables.com and I'm going to check if it is P109. BaseBloks. Files. No, he is right. You need to put a plate of them in it. If you don't, it isn't a complete printer, is it? Ooh. No, it's P102 for a plate of extra connectors. P109 is not a model, is not a file. It's P102. Okay. But if someone saw this, got intrigued, and haven't done PrusABlok before, having the connectors available is good. If you already have them, then you don't need to print more. Okay, yep, no, you're very much correct. I stand corrected. I stand corrected. I don't stand, I'm sat down. No, I'm being elitist without realizing it. Elitist? What's the word? Not elitist. I'm being What is the word? You guys know the word. I'm assuming prior knowledge. I shouldn't be assuming prior knowledge. There we go. Sorry. Sorry. I need to fix that now. How can I can't include a 10th plate, though. Oop. I'm maxed out on plates. Right, it's going to have to be a second project file. Oh, I don't want to do a second project file. That's the problem. But then if I plate up a plate of connectors. That's why they should be on a separate plate so they can be... I've had to do that on all my PrusABlok projects. Got to remember the connectors aren't just a suggestion. Okay, okay. That's why they should be on a separate plate so they can be ignored or printed with the correct filament. Okay. Let's... Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. I should have taken pictures of the printer to use as reference. Actually, no. Oh, I didn't. I was going to upload it all to Tinkercad, and I didn't upload it all to Tinkercad because I was going to export everything as it currently stood to go through this all. Right, 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 right. Okay. 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 Let's do... So I'm stalemated on the plates. We need to go to Tinkercad. And inside of Tinkercad, we need to go through and upload all of the files that I was supposed to do last time. But I didn't. Because I'm a silly Billy. Right, 104. Import, choose file. And let's just build it. Because it's all I can do. Whoop. No idea what happened there. So while I'm doing this, you're thinking of project ideas, Joe, and you've been doing PrusABlok Marble Run, Ken. How is that treating you? How is the building of a designing Marble Run pieces, how is that working out? Because, as I think I've said before, I want that. I want Marble Runs. And then you, Cragord, need to tell us, what did you do to win 800 grams of Ultra Glow? Sorry, Doug, that it makes it a little longer, but you know he's right. Yes, I know he's right. And the fact that Joe's corrected me on it as well, it's my assumed prior print pieces. Just no, it's a bad idea. It's a bad idea to assume. We don't assume. We verify. I'm making progress, probably slower than I'd like, but it's progress. Hey, progress is progress. You know, this is frankly not that interesting to watch, but this is the export of the project as the 3MF project, so I'm getting there. designing the pieces and then trying to implement them in Tinkercad means I'm learning new things as I go along. Yes. If you do have any screenshots or pictures of your Marble Run pieces, they would be great to have a look at. 6 half blocks. Doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doo. Half block number 5. I've no idea how many I've imported so far in terms of total pieces, but we're slowly. Doug, can you show me the align to a specific object trick? I've seen you do it, but I don't know how. I only know how to align to the middle of both objects. Okay. That's the last half block to import. So let's do this. How to align 2 objects. How to align to a specific object trick. So how I've been doing it, you can press the L key, which brings up you can align it to the center of both, or you can select one of them and then pick where you want it to go. If that's what you mean. So you would select both objects, press the L key or wherever the align button is there. You pick one of the objects and then you can align based on that singular object. Like, you just click the one in align. Hold on. Yes. Align, choose the one, and then you can pick where it goes. Well, damn. Now I know how to make holes on the things I'm actually working on. Huh. And then you've got your W for wall, or floor, whatever you want to call it. Which I don't know what the button is to actually pick your floor. I don't know why it's W, but you pick the floor or the reference where you want to drop things to. At which point you could make this block be at the top of this 1x2 at the top of the half block. And the measuring tape is the opposite, which is annoying. If you work plane, okay, and you drop it to the work plane. So there you go. And then the one that I like is F, and you select the object that you want to focus on, which is always good. And it does work for multiples. So you can select a group of things and you want to bring that into the center. You press F to focus on it, I guess. Fit all in view as an overall, or you fit all of this object in view. Doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doo. Boop-a-doop-a-doo. And then drop it. There you go. Ba, 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 ba. Right, what's the next question? Dang, I never tried that. That's good. It's fun. Between two objects, you have to click on the one you want to move if you change it. Yeah, this is why the tape measure and the ruler, I've never done the tape measure, which I should. I've never tried. I find it kind of funny that the stuff we just talked about, I thought everyone knew. Well, see, I don't know the tape measure. I'm always using the ruler because I accidentally pressed the ruler. And it's like, okay, well, what am I doing? Am I measuring between these two objects? Like, what's the distance here? Because I don't actually know. It's 24 from the edge of the tape measure to the first object, and it's 24 plus 74 to the edge of the next object. Like, what's the gap in between? I don't know. Which maybe, we go tape measure this corner to this corner. 12? I don't know. I don't know. Like, that's why I've always just done I'm just going to put the work plane on that surface, drop that block to the middle, move off of it, and then 1, 2. Like, shift and arrow gets you 10 times the snapping point that you've got set. So your snapping distances, which you might be able to see in the bottom corner, where 0.1, 0.25, 0.5, 1 millimeter, 2, 5, and brick, whatever brick is, like, which is why I always go 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, because that's 10, 20 is the shift. 1, 2, 3, 4 brings it back to a stud point, but not a stud point, a connector point. Like, bloop, and then 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 16. Or 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. That's 32. That's 2 blocks of distance. Well, 2 base block of distance. Or it's then 1 gigantic block connector worth of distance. So it's silly, it's fun, and it's those things that I've just arbitrarily picked up as I've gone along. Like, it's just it's just silly stuff. Right, let's keep going. We need to import the rest of the blocks for the printer. That's the half blocks done. Tetronymo L number 1. And Tetronymo L number 2. And then goodness knows how many left after this. 20. There's a lot of blocks in this, more than I originally anticipated. But also less, because it's gigantic blocks. Like, you could. Oh, I should do it. I should, Joe. Should I print the PrusABlok Mini in regular block size and make a scale model of the PrusABlok Mini? regarding the Printables marble run, I'll find a piece to put some pictures so I can get selectivity so that I can selectively share, or I'll start doing like Doug on Tinkercad and provide a share link so you can see it. Yeah. I'm just not quite comfortable going public yet. No, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. If you want to share things secretly, go for it. If you'd rather just share with Joe or whoever, do it. I'm not going to be insulted. Why would I be insulted? I'm only doing this so that I've got the outsourced accountability that I'm actually doing the thing. Ooh. These have got the wrong file name. Because these should be called PrusABlok Mini, rather than just file name. We need to fix that. You can't see me fixing it, but I'm fixing it. And then the next time I go to import it, you will see. You will see. Except now I've just done and renamed those files, and I shouldn't have renamed those files until I'd actually finished importing stuff. Delete them. Fine, whatever. Done. Gone. Right. So, mini inspection door. That's a stock part. Import. Then we get mini screen. Mini knob. There we go. Stock part. I could redo that as a printer block, but I'm not going to. Printer block 2 by 11 by 1, number 1, which 2 by 11 by 1 is Y front and Y rear. So you go over here, and then when it loads in, you go over here. So there should be a 2 by 9. There is, but it's further down. Printer block panel 2 by 8. 1, 2, 3, 4 of those. And just while we're thinking about it, the print's coming along nicely. It's coming along nicely. I'm happy with that. And then, again, once we've finished importing all of this, we get the fun part of rebuilding the printer. Inside of Tinkercad, but just the frame. 2 by 8 by 2, number 3. I'm really starting to wonder. Oh, been sitting here waiting for 10 minutes now. Yeah, no, that's a thing. I would rather not be in that situation of having to wait. There's number 4. 2 by 8, number 4. 10 minutes waiting past the scheduled arrival time. What is the typical delay, if there is one? Are there any traffic incidents that have been reported? I mean, you probably already had those thoughts, so let me know if you want me to shut up. There's the X carriage. Mini Y idler. That is the correct one. Don't know why. Only second day of school. Really? 2 by 9 by 1. There it is. So the 2 by 9 by 1 is the block that goes underneath the Z. Because then it's... the Z is more firmly attached to the frame. Kind of. Kind of. I don't know another way of doing it without just integrating the Z piece entirely into the frame. Which could be an option. It could be an option. Electronics enclosure. Slowly importing. Then the lid. Which is another complicated piece of geometry, I suppose. Or it's just all the lines that go to it because it's silly otherwise. Next file is the mini extruder rear. Do I really only have 2 stock parts? I've got to have more stock parts. Mini... I do have more than 2 stock parts. Because I have the... Or did we modify it? Let's carry on. LCD angle mount. The thing that holds the display. Nice and simple, which took far too long to put together. LCD assembly holder. That one was just funny to put together. Doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doo. Come on, hurry up and load. Or is the expression hurry up and wait? Gotta wait for it to load, because if I start another upload or another file loading before the other one's actually done, like if I was to click import now, I'm pretty sure that it would stop the import of the mini screen, mini LCD assembly. Yeah, why would a bus be late on day 2? I knew this one would take a while. Come on. So, you can't see it. It's just a loading dialog that's sat beneath my face. There. It's just below me. It's down here. This loading dialog is what we're currently waiting for. Because the driver isn't sure on the route. Other parents might not remember, so they delay after the other stops. Oh, yeah. I could do it. Like if it's a new driver's new route, maybe. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, failed to load the screen. Really? Really? Okay, I guess we'll try that one again later. Left side rod holder, and there's 2 of those. And then we've got the extrude front. Doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doo. The rod holders are so vastly different to how they started out. They're just very vastly different. Because they were the most simple things, but it turns out, no, actually, no, we're going to be a pain in the backside and not be helpful and require specific bits. I think they don't have the kids getting on the bus like they should. Probably. They're probably prattling about at the onboarding location. Right rear rod holder. And then we choose a file, right front rod holder. Except we're not there yet. Motor Y motor holder. Sorry, the motor holder still looks funny. I don't know. Well, it's just because it's so vastly odd because of the whole. I want it to hook in because otherwise it would just pull off. Right front rod holder. And then we've got a few more pieces left. Mini Z bottom. Which still feels odd to have a 5x2x2. But hey, that is the file that we're working with. And then Z carriage front, Z carriage rear, and Z top. And that's all of the files, at which point we could then build it. Also, these are the print orientations, so we can validate those as well while we're in here. Mini Z top. 96 by 32, so yeah, that's a 6 by. Just feels so weird with that being its counterpart, you know? But then they're only like that because it's actually offset like that. Right. Do we spot anything wrong with print orientations? I'm going to say no. The only one that's a slight concern is the Mini Z front. However, it's got a solid base for print adhesion. I don't see any reason to reorient this piece. Did I recycle any other parts? No, because I made that bigger. Let me just check. I'm just going to stand up and have a look at the printer for just a moment. At which point, did I reprint that part? Did I reprint it? Did I reprint part of the extruder, or did I leave it stock? Do I have both pieces of the extruder assembly, or are they I did reprint both parts of the extruder because they are in the box with the rest of the Prusa Mini parts. I reprinted both parts, that's why both parts are there. Not reusing any stock parts other than stuff that gets reprinted. There we go. Okay. We've got the project. That's all of the pieces, I think. So let's just shove them up there. And then we can build it. Are we ready? Have we all had a drink? This is the part where we validate if that's all the pieces. Hey, Doug, do me a favor. Save. Let's not lose anything. So you're telling me to duplicate the project? I shall duplicate the Tinkercad project. I shall do that. Building the Prusa Mini, duplicate, copy of building the Prusa Mini. Well, building the PrusABlok Mini. And we'll rename this, in theory, all parts for the PrusABlok Mini, but you can't see it. So if I go back to Tinkercad, when it loads, in theory, all the parts for the PrusABlok Mini. That's a duplicate of the file. There you go. Better safe than sorry. Yep. No, you're right. You are 100% correct. Because that's what happened with the 3MF file. So, are we ready? Should I be taking screenshots as we go along for the build guide? Am I basically doing a build guide right now? Don't think so. I don't think I'm basically doing a build guide. 242. 242. 242. That is the overall length of the PrusABlok. Well, it's not the overall length. That is the internal length of the y-axis, which is why the rods have basically got no internal bite. But that gets us the maximum amount of y travel. We take the 2x11s, we rotate and rotate. We place both at we place them both, one at the front, one at the back, and at whatever the well, when I get the right words, one at the front, one at the back. This is where we mount our motor mounts and so on. Here we need a Tetronimo L. The Tetronimo L affords us some level of extra rigidity. Some level of rigidity. Might not be perfect, but it's some. At which point we can take our idler for the y-axis and it gets added in. Let's just check the clearance because it might be one off. Yes, it's one block off. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See, going 1, 2 backwards 4, it makes a lot more sense because it's one less click. At which point we get the motor block. The motor block aligns with the internal edge, I want to say. I think. No, it's 3. So 1, 2. Yep. Drop it down and then use itself as a reference to drop it once again. There. So 3 blocks. I think. No, I'm wrong. Because we've got this thing. I think it's that one. Unless I've got it the wrong way round. Have I got it the wrong way round? Yes, that should be mirrored. So that piece inside of Prusa Slicer needs mirroring. Silly me. Oop. Silly me. You go back up there. Transition. So that piece is wrong. I don't quite know how that piece is wrong, but that piece is wrong. So we need to mirror it along the, which axis? The x-axis? But then at the same time, you stand it up, and then if it's rotated, yes, it's wrong. That is wrong. It should be mirrored along the x-axis. Just to confirm, PrusABlok Mini right rear rod holder. Yes, that is now correct. Place it back on its face, on that face, and it's not in any issue there. Which means mirror. Silly Billy. Yeah, I know. This is why we're going through and we're building it, it would seem. Because we're validating that we've got all the parts, and we're validating that stuff is plated correctly. And then... There we go. Which then means that goes here. See, that feels very wrong. I don't know why it feels wrong, but it does. That's why, because it's 2 blocks too far over. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. There we are. That's now in the right place. At present, the screen is too far back for my liking, but I can't do anything about it right now. It's one that I need to work out later. One, 2, 3, 1, 2. Drop it back. So that's the screen holder. I say the screen's too far back, but that's because of the ribbon cable. You don't want, as Joe said, threading it under the lead screw feels like a bad idea. Oh wait, I didn't transition back to Tinkercad. Oh, Tinkercad. Why aren't you displaying? Tinkercad, come on. Why are you doing this to me? There we are. Now you can see. So I've positioned the rod holder in the right place. It's 2 blocks in, which means the motor block is 3 blocks in. The screen holder is offset 2 from the front, and we can't currently move it because the ribbon cable's not long enough for how I've currently got it threaded through, unless we thread it through underneath the lead screw, but that feels like it's a bad idea. Or we modify this Mini Z bottom to somehow permit you to thread the cable through, but then that needs modifying the electronics enclosure. It feels wrong. Feels wrong. We can figure it out though. That's fine. We'll figure it out. So let's stand up again and check our reference. It's offset by 1. So there's a half block behind the L. Slam it back. Drop it to here. And there. No, wrong way. There. At which point, I wish I'd taken pictures. Why don't I just take a picture? It's a good question, because I can't figure it out. There's a 1, a base block, a 1, a 2, and a something else. So it's supposed to be a base block? I have not put a base block on the project files list. Huh. Why have I not got a base block on there? Cragord, first day of school today for my kid. Oh. I need to think of a different way to do this. Trying to get a picture so that I don't have to keep standing up. So it looks like a 2. Sorry about this, folks. Because this is a pain in the backside. Because I don't remember how I built it, and it's only been 2 weeks. Right. What can I see? I can see the Z-axis, so let's work on the Z-axis, because that's one that can be done. That's a 1x3. And an L. So we rotate 180 degrees, we bring it upright, and then we rotate it once again because I didn't need to rotate it the first time. Let's bring it back to here, over here, and then drop it up to the work plane. Align U2. No. Rotate 90. Move it to where it's actually in the middle of the frame, Doug. So L, 4, 3, right. Where's the 1x4? There's the 1x4. You can actually do this in whichever order you like. That's the fun part. But I've done it this way, so let's keep it that way. Rotate you 90 degrees, bring you here, bring you here, and then bring you to here. Nope, that way around. So that is the z-axis. These two pieces for the actual thing that moves up and down the lead screw are to be grouped, aligned in the center, find a flat edge, drop it to that flat edge and drop it back down, but do it properly in the first place. And make sure you've actually got things rotated the right way. Boop. There we go. Yes, there we go. So now we can group these together as two different colors, because then we can actually distinguish them. And this goes 180 degrees because the motor goes on the front. And then, roughly along these lines, we align it. Nope. Is it half a mil? No, it's not even half a mil. Is it a quarter of a mil? Yeah, that's close enough. So you're floating up here, which means you are also floating up here. Rotate, drop, and then align in the center, because it is in the center for this. This being the X carriage end. And then we shove it somewhere over here. Which means we then grab the rest of the rod holders for the y-axis. You get lined up with you. Doot. Doot. And then shoved all the way back. And there we go. So you line up there. Nice. You and you get rotated 90 degrees. One of you goes all the way back, one of you goes all the way to the front. Come on, give me the thing back. But which way round is it? It's a good question. You go here. No. You go there. And then there against this edge. No. Go. Oh, for goodness sake. Just align with something, please. Still trying to figure out why we are starting this early. I never started more than a week before Labor Day. Oh. So I know nothing about American schools other than they go for a long time. And at the same time, you have 104 days of summer vacation, and then school just comes along just to end it. And there's an annual problem for that generation of finding a good way to spend it. So you tell me, what am I missing? We do not, in fact, have 104 days of summer vacation. Really? How many do you have? Schools in the UK are off for either 5 or 6 weeks. Oh wait, I can get you two grouped together. She may have had 70 days. 70 to 90. So Phineas and Ferb lies. They lie. Oh, drama. Drama. Right, so. You need to go down, but also you need to go back up 4.4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. $70 to 90. Maybe it's different in the tri-state area. Maybe. Maybe the tri-state area has a different educational board. It's entirely possible. Right, this is where things get fun. We've got to grab all of this, but not this, and move it. 1. Is it only 10? Can't only be 10. Wait, hang on. Group it. And then the tri-state area. Doop-a-doop-a-doo. There we go. So that is the majority so far. The majority so far. We also need to include the extruder, which is over here, which rotate. Rotate, and then rotate, drop, and drop. In the south, they claim to have them out the hottest part of the summer, so they save money on air conditioning. But I think there are other reasons. Go on. I do occasionally enjoy a good conspiracy. Occasionally. Can I align these in the center? Does that make sense? Yes, it does. And then we've got to find the flippy thing. The flippy thing gets rotated, and then rotated, and then somehow the flippy thing ends up in the right place. So, nope. Drop you there, and then align you with this edge. Surprisingly, it worked. So you can now get grouped together. No, you can get grouped together. Traditionally, it was so the children could be home when their agriculturally employed parents could use them the most. Now I think it's just stubborn tradition. I concur. It is very much stubborn tradition. Because unless you are indeed agriculturally employed, what's the point? Oh, what a guess. Look at that alignment. What a guess. So far off. There. That's better. That's aligned up now. One. Nope, too high up. That's more like it. That's roughly in line. That's exactly where it just was, isn't it? Right. Oh, well. I'll do. Get rid of the transparency on that one. Solid. T. T for transparency, by the way. So, in theory, I have a base block in here. But at the same time, I don't have a base block. So what have I done 2 half blocks and not a base block? Though honestly, who wouldn't want to have the time to build a rocket? Build a rocket, fight a mummy, or climb up the Eiffel Tower, or inventing something that doesn't exist, or giving Frankenstein's monster a shower. Surfing tidal waves. No, wait. It's a zombie, not Frankenstein's monster. But it's locating Frankenstein's monster's brain. Is it really a half block? Sorry, I'm throwing myself off quite heavily with trying to figure this out. Trying to... So I have used a... Oh, no, wait. There's a half block. There's a half block. So yes, there is a base block. So all of this needs to go forward by 16. Right? You need to go back onto there. You need to go back onto there. And then there's room for a base block. Nope. There. There. So there's a half block in here that I didn't remember. And then... There we are. And then I need to import a base block, and then add a base block to the 3MF file. Boom! It's over here. Getting somewhere. Base block. Right, and where did the base block import to? Right where I don't want it to. Great. Where are you? Hello? Mr. Base Block. There it is. Do 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 do. It's in my head now, Joe. Thank you. It's so much in my head. Right. Let's put the base block into the 3MF file. Activate the right window capture. Base block. In my downloads folder. Base block. Gigantoblock, base block. And then find a file to shove it into. Let's shove it in the screen. That'll do. It's inside the screen. Because that's the only addition and change that we've made so far. We've added a base block. But what we need to do is figure the rest of this out. So the 2x9 goes underneath. Goes underneath. Drop it. Align it. And then it gets aligned on here. But what I should do, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. And then we take a couple of the... How well can we see this? When does school start in the UK? Typically, school starts the first week of September. That being, you know, it just depends. So the first week of September, however, many schools do in-service training days. Yes, I know. There's a thing called an in-service training day. Or in-set, as they get called. An in-service training day is, as the name would suggest, a day where there is staff training that happens during term time. Because they've not had holidays to do such a thing, but then staff also have to take holiday. It's odd. But yeah, so some schools save in-service training days to be all happening at once. So you might have 6 or... But you might... A school has a certain amount of in-service training days. Teachers in school, not students, kind of a half day off, except it's a full day. They operate it as a full day for staff training. At which point, yeah, so, yeah. Typically, we don't do half days. That's not a done thing. Half days aren't a thing unless it's like the last day of term. But even then, it's not a half day. It's still a full day. Yeah, so that's something that typically happens. You just get an in-service training day, like the first day back of term, and it's like, what are you supposed to do at that point? Well, if you're somebody who has kids and has a job, well, you need to find somewhere to store the kids during summer vacation. Why is there a gap there? Which is the age-old problem, isn't it? They've got X amount of time off. You need to find somewhere to store them. You need to keep them entertained and stop them from going feral. Or whatever word you want to use to describe how much you adore your children. Oh wait, that one needs to come all the way down. feel like I need more half blocks, like a half block on this wall here. Do I have a half block on that side? No, I don't. Wow, that's weird. So this is just a giant span with no supports in the middle. Okay, if that's what I did, that's what I did. Let's grab these panels here. All right, so we want one of you over here, where you get aligned on the back there and shoved onto here and shoved onto here. But at the same time, I kind of don't want you on the outside. I put you on the inside because then you get to have more variety of color. So I drop you back there. The next one. Whoop. You are dropped onto this surface and aligned at the back. There we are. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have nothing there, but I do have this, which adds some strength in this region here. What I also have is these 2x6 panels. Yeah, they are panels. We agreed that, didn't we? That get aligned like so. To add some rigidity to the rod holders on this side. Sorry, this is very much a rabbit hole episode because I just want to get it done. So I keep going quiet, and I'm trying not to. It is something that I'm working on, being noisy. I don't typically need assistance in being noisy, but hey, if you do like to offer assistance with enabling people to be noisy, you can hit the like button. If something happens, something happens. What will happen? Who knows? Who knows? I'm not entirely sure why, but this is more tiring than building the printer or designing it in the first place. This is taking more more of my ability to think than I would have expected. Right, so that's that. And then this 2x9, or 2x7, whatever it was, that went on here. Like so, to grab there. So why have I got a 2x11 that's not in use? This 2x11 is not in use, and I don't know why. I feel like I've used more. I know. It's fine. We'll just put it up here. Nobody needs to know. We'll just put the 2x11 up high, and it will add some rigidity, and no one will ever know. One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. That's the 2x11 now in place. Again, the boys, no one will ever know. Smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave. Is that it? Apart from the screen that didn't load in. Is that it? Are we sure? Are we sure? Because that looks like a PrusABlok Mini. It looks like a PrusABlok. Have I missed something? LCD assembly holder. Okay. Please import. Have I missed something? Whoop. Have I missed something? No, I haven't watched Dover Boys at Pimento University. Have I missed something? Have I? I feel like I have. Because, you know, that LCD piece isn't going to load in at all. I can feel it. So let's just put the knob there, and we can pretend. This genuinely feels like I've missed something. Like that surely, right? There's more to it. Like, okay, maybe another another half block to put behind here to just make it make sense. Well, we can add another half block. You know, there's the other half block. So then we just add another half block to the build plate. Do you need another kit to print and test it? Yeah, probably. I mean, I do have another Prusa Mini Plus or another base Prusa Mini, but at the same time, I don't want to. I don't want to take that apart because they're functioning and they are the ones that are going to be printing out all of the Printables for Smurf 27. Right, I've just made a change, so we need to transition over to Prusa Slicer. We need to find the half block. We need to copy and paste it and shove it on another build plate. There. That one over there. That will do. And then it's just all of the connectors. So, is that it? Is that it? It looks correct. Doesn't feel correct. That's all of the pieces. This, what am I missing? I'm missing something. I am missing something. I have to be. Like, that's the final version of the motor mount. We've got both parts for the extruder. We've got the rod holders that we've updated. We've got the correct version of the electronics enclosure. The mini Z carriage, the Z carriage front and rear. Like, we know that we've swapped those because it's in the right orientation and it's got the support with it, which is in just in there, like you can just about see it. There it is. See, there's the support materials. So what? You know, there's two L's, two Tetranimo L's, which matches up with because we made that change. How many PrusAmeters do I need to get a mini? I should know that question. Rewards. No. The Prusa Mini's not on there? There's no what? Prusa Mini isn't... Oh, it's there. Oh, no, that's the 3D printing and modeling guide for beginners. What? I mean, you've got gift cards. You can't redeem it directly for a Prusa Mini, but you can redeem it for a voucher. And a voucher, you've got... That doesn't make sense. A $100 voucher for 1,000 PrusAmeters, or a $200 voucher for 2,000 PrusAmeters. Oh, only one voucher can be used per transaction. Never mind. Yeah, so you have to spend 3,000 PrusAmeters to get $200 off. Because you can't stack vouchers. Sorry, I'm not screen sharing. Or am I screen sharing? No, I'm not screen sharing. So that's cheeky. That's very cheeky. Does not include upgrades and conversion kits. Only one voucher can be used per transaction. Cheeky. You know, they upgrade the XL and the 4 to Core 1 and Core 1s to Plus version today. Yes, they did. They did indeed. They implemented some of the kit that they implemented the nozzle alignment from the Index to the Prusa XL. And the chamber can now the enclosure can now do 50 degrees by default for the Prusa XL. I watched the announcement. How much of it I remember? No idea. I just remember the nozzle alignment for the XL because I still want an XL. An XL would be great. I don't need it, but it would be great. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, hint, hint, Prusa. No, I want to go out to the factory first. I want to go to the factory. Looks like the only mini they sell is with an enclosure for $550. Yes, that is correct. That is correct. When is 3D print? I was going to say, when's 3D Printopia? Could we? See, Josh has got a Prusa Mini that he's not built yet, and it's I've earmarked it for this build, but at the same time, I think, Joe, that the Prusa Mini is finally one that would actually make sense for you. The only thing that gets me about Prusa is that they are pricey for what you get. Yes. However, they've done a fair chunk, and they are now paying it back to the community. They had a lapse where they forgot, but now they're making good. They're making good now. So, you know, doing silly things like this speaks volumes, in my opinion, and the whole the Core 1 Plus R2, whatever they're calling it, the Core 1 Plus Plus bit, where they were like, we did the stroboscopic for belt tensioning, but we listened to you with Gates 1.5 belts, 1.5 millimeter spacing rather than 2 millimeter spacing or whatever it is. So we listened to you, and this makes sense now. You know, we got better VFAs or less VFAs, so better results, or something along those lines. So they've made good. I'm looking at a 3. You're looking at a Prusa Mark III. It's still a solid printer. You can get them quite cheaply secondhand. And doing the upgrade to a Mark IV. If you can get a cheap Mark III, you might have to bunny hop to, I say bunny hop, you might have to go through the 3.5 to get to the 4. Like, you might have to do an interim upgrade. I don't think there is a direct 3 to 4 upgrade path. You have to do like 3.5 or something. Whatever it is to get an extruder, it takes a step or 2. Why am I guessing when I can just use a web browser and go to the Prusa shop? Why am I guessing when I can just go to the store? Silly Doug. Silly Doug. That's not transitioning to... transition. There we go. So you go parts and accessories, and then... No, you don't. You go 3D printers, and then Mark IV Core 1. What am I doing? Where am I going? Where am I going? I need to go... Yeah, you can't get, by the way, the Mini without the enclosure anymore. I don't know why. So we need parts and accessories, or I want an upgrade kit, printer upgrades. Core X, Core 1 Index, no. Upgrades. You get Mark III S to Mark III S Plus, Mark III S Plus to 3.9, or Mark III S to 3.5, and then 3.9 is an extruder to then have what is basically a Mark IV. So, 3S Plus to 3.9. Yeah, sorry, you're right. I'm wrong. There is a direct upgrade path. I thought you had to do like 3.5 to 3.9. So I'm wrong. But that's fine. That's fine. Right. How's that print coming along? How much time does it have left? Let's zoom in on the top down. Or let's not zoom in on the top down, let's just transition to the top down shot. Where is the top down shot? Top down. There it is. How are we looking? We're looking all right. It's got 75% done. That looks nice. Bright pink, it's nice and offensive. What do you think, Joe? How badly would I be ostracized if I was like, dedication to the... Ooh, okay. How badly would I be ostracized if I said I thought PrusA's dedication to an upgrade path was silly? I would argue that the dedication to an upgrade path is admirable, in my opinion. The reason I say it's admirable, in my opinion, is that those who have left their older printers, those that have left their older printers to buy something new, or have left the hobby, so let's say you have been gifted if you've been lucky enough that you've got somebody in your circle who has gone, you know what, I'm getting a Core 1, I don't care. Here's my Mark III, I don't care, have it. If you're lucky enough to have been gifted a printer, or essentially gifted a printer for $50, or however much, like a really cheap printer, having that ability to go to PrusA and buy the upgrade kit is great, because you're achieving three things at once. I'm saying three things at once. You get new shiny, you do maintenance, new shiny and maintenance. There's a third thing, but I don't know what it is. You're learning the printer. There you go. You get to learn more about them, like how they work and whatever, if you don't already know that. But it's nice that you get that option if you were to buy an upgrade kit. And of course, it's not wanting to transition to PrusA Slicer again. The PrusA website transition. There we go. So £489. How much is a new PrusA Mark IV? Okay, you can't get the Mark IV. You can get the Mark IVS. Kit, 649 versus 489. So that is a difference of £160. I mean, maybe. Let's search by sold. How do I filter by sold? Condition used, accept offers, search sold items. I have to sign in to search sold items? That's stupid. $7.99 for the Mark IV, $9.99 for the Core 1. So, in that case, if you were able to pick up a used Mark III for, in the UK case, less than 160, for less than 160, then I guess you would be fine. Like, maybe that would make sense because you're getting to do a load of maintenance on the printer, and you're saving e-waste. I would say you can get a Mark III-ish for 200, a Mark III for 200-ish, and a Mark IV for 500. Okay, so in that case, an upgrade kit doesn't make sense. That sucks. That sucks. I mean, it's great that you can pick one up for that cheap. So maybe the Mark IV to Core 1. But then how much is a Mark IV to Core 1 upgrade? Mark IV 3D printers. Right. Duplicate this tab. Upgrades. Wow, okay. So 3.9, but if we're talking Mark IV, it's 569. And how much was the new printer? Because I didn't spot that. The new printer is 649. The Mark IV S upgrade is 569. So it's £80 of difference. So you'd have to be able to pick up a Mark III for £80, which I don't think you're gonna do. That sucks. No. Gosh darn. Aww. And then where's the Mark IV to Core 1 upgrade? Mark IV, where's the conversion kit? That's upgrades. Core 1, Mark IV to Core 1 Gen 2 conversion kit, 659. And a new Core 1 Gen 2 is 909. So 250. See, that one makes more sense. That one, 909, makes more sense than, because, I mean, okay, let's just math this out. So £156.70. So 156. Okay, let's just say 160 plus the price of the upgrade kit, the conversion kit. Mark IV 3D printer kit. 3D printers. Mark IV S2 Core 1 is 659. So 160 plus 659, it gets you 819, and a kit is 909. So 819 minus 909 minus 819 gets you 90 £90 saved. but that's Mark IV. Mark IV to Core 1. Not Mark III. Mark IV to Core 1. So you have to get, for £270 or less, a Mark IV 3D printer to then upgrade it to a Core 1. I don't like it. Because, again, for me, yep, in the US, it is hard to say going with a Prusa. So, okay. It's admirable that they make upgrade kits. We can agree. You know, it's nice that they make those kits. Because those that we were looking at, they're massive jumps. Wow, it's showing Prusa Slicer again. Those kits are massive jump kits. They're not just iterative kits. So an iterative kit, Mark IV to Mark IVS, that's 97. An iterative i3 to 3.5 is 250. So iterative kits are less offensive in price, but I'm not saying the price is offensive. I understand it because great, but it also sucks because ouch. I'm hoping now that Printed Solid being Prusa US, maybe the prices will come down. Maybe we can hope. We can hope. There's a bunch of nonsense in that direction that's occurring that doesn't help everything, and AI doesn't help with the prices of electronics. Like everything tech-wise sucks to buy. Like I would have loved to upgrade my computer this year. It's not happening. It's not happening next year. This thing still works. I've got to deal with it. Which obviously has been driving the prices up because anything that uses any level of silicon has gone up in price. Any level of silicon. DDR2 memory's gone up in price. You know, that thing from your computer 25 years ago? Yeah, no, that's gone up in price. Because production facilities are better off making other stuff that they get more money for. So the capacity's gone down to make the older stock. DDR2 still gets made. What can you do about it? Not a lot. So that's pretty much it. Like, yeah. But on the plus side, we can now get semi-accurate answers to our questions without actually doing any research. No. No. But yes, but no. Like, it's useful. Like, I use it. It's a tool. But it's a tool that you need to verify. Like with everything, you need to verify it. Like, you don't just take the first answer out of a book. You go look at 2 books and see if they say a similar thing. Like, for just spitballing an idea, you know, I've got a dumb business idea that I would like to do. Let's throw it at AI and see what it says. And then it tells me, oh, it's a brilliant business idea. Go ahead and do it. Throw all your life savings at it. No. No. I'm telling you then, I've got a good business idea. It's a very good business idea. We should do it. Doesn't make sense, but it's a good idea. Either way, how are we looking on the print? How are we looking on the print? All I know is I am very warm. Very incredibly warm. It is at now, I can't see the screen, 80-something%. One moment while I open a garage door. And just ever so quietly look around outside. Because I'm warm. I was going very red, as you could probably see. Although I'm not on camera right now, but hey. Yes, AI has its uses. However, grain of salt. I do need to put some form of tape on the underside because the printer has moved, which is very weird and very disturbing. It's got closer to the edge as it's been printing. A lot closer to the edge. But I don't want to move it myself. But it has moved since we started the stream. So, I guess the questions are, what's after the PrusABlok? I mean, I still want to do the build guide, but I don't feel like it makes sense to do the build guide on stream. It would be fun to do it on stream, but it doesn't quite make sense. So, what's next? I think return to the RoboPad design to get that made. That's useful to have for Smurf. And then I think we focus on that for a week or two. If AI has its uses, I have yet to find one that's worth the price. Yeah. Yeah. The amount of yeah, I don't know, Joe. I don't know. Unfortunately, I don't know. Like, how many spontaneous text messages have been replaced by AI queries? Like, how many owls have been replaced with AIs? Or something like that, because yeah. Like you have your circle of humans that you go to and you message them like, here's an idea. you can replace a bolognese sauce with chili con carne and still eat it with pasta, or you could substitute chili for bolognese and have it with your rice. Like, why not? Why not? And then you want somebody in your circle of friends would send you that text message and being like, I want to try substituting bolognese sauce for chili con carne. Like, I want to substitute chili onto my pasta. And that one person in your friend group, how many of those texts have now been replaced by them going to some large language model chat window and just being like, what's the practicality of substituting bolognese with chili con carne? And they'll have a conversation with some chatbot rather than another person, because maybe maybe it's just like, oh, this is too dumb to send to this text is too dumb to send to Joe, or this text is too dumb to send to Cragord, and you now miss out on that lovely conversation as to the practicality and what it actually means for bolognese to be bolognese when it's been replaced by chili. Spaghetti bolognese, when the bolognese part of the spaghetti bolognese has been replaced by chili, because now it's chili pasta, or chili spaghetti, or whatever it is. Why can't you have bolognese on a jacket potato? I don't see why not. So yeah, that's the bit that sucks, because people are going to the chatbots and being like, I want to do this, and then they're not sharing it. I'm all for chili pasta. Curry noodle, anyone? Exactly. Why can't you have a chicken tikka masala with penne pasta? Because a carb's a carb. You can have a pizza base with garlic butter. So what's wrong with using that instead of a naan bread? Like, substitute your naan for a garlic bread pizza and have your chicken tikka on top of pasta instead of rice. Why not? I'm going to try that now. I need to try that now. I need to have a chicken tikka masala on penne pasta. It's going to be weird. It's going to be weird, but I'm all for it. Now on. Exactly. Me too. Me too. The inanely mundane is what is being missed by the majority now, because everybody's feeding it into the language models rather than texting people at 2 o'clock in the morning. Drunk texts have been replaced by chat, by some chat model. Like, nobody gets the drunk text anymore because people send it to some chatbot instead. That's the thing we're missing. The inanely mundane is what's missing. And that sucks. It really sucks. Oh, what on earth, Doug? What on earth? That's ridiculous. But fine, whatever. It makes sense, right? It makes sense. The inanely mundane has been replaced by drunk texts being sent to chatbots instead of being received by your mates. That's the problem with society. No more drunk texts. Oh. Oh well. Oh well. Right. On the topic of oh well, we've achieved. We've built the Prusa Mini in Tinkercad, the PrusABlok Mini in Tinkercad. Right? We've done that. That looks to be all the parts apart from the screen, which for some reason isn't loading. That looks to be it. We've gone through Prusa Slicer and you know, this looks about right. Like, I'm sure something's missing, but we exported it we exported all the STLs, we imported all of those into Tinkercad, we built it there. That's all of the printable bits, right? Apart from the screen, which again didn't load. So if that's it, then I guess you know, we need to now print it all again and make another one just to make sure. Maybe. This is so daft. This PrusABlok is so daft. But if this is it, if this really is everything plated apart from connectors, which I need to do a plate of connectors, yeah, which would mean build guide. But I feel build guide is something that I need to work at offline and then do an update with the build guide. I could be wrong, but that's my current thought process, because writing documentation is worse than this, and nobody wants to sit through somebody writing documentation. But what you can sit through is this. So thank you for joining. So next stream Printer Quest skirmish. Ooh. Can I get skirmish printed before next stream? I'm going to give it a go. So I'm not going to promise anything for next Tuesday at all, other than I'll be coming back to your faces at 21:30 British summertime, which is 22:30 Central European summertime, which is 4:30 p.m. US Eastern, which is 3:30 p.m. in Texas, which is 2:30 p.m. in Mountain Time, which I can't remember the time in Seattle. I've still not got that far yet. But we will have a stream that is one of those mystery block episodes. We'll see. We will see. It's going to be a mystery block, because I don't have a plan right now. But what the plan could be is you hitting the subscribe button if you haven't already, or hitting like if you haven't already, or, you know, going to dreamsvoid.com and clicking one of the links and finding the social medias, like that their social media platform formerly known as Twitter or Blue Sky, or you know, there's an email button. You could email me. Don't email me. I mean, if you want to, you can do, but it's going to get lost in the inbox at the moment. Texas Central Eastern -1. Okay. Texas is Central, which is Eastern -1. See, I'm getting there. Mountain is Eastern -2, so that would mean West Coast is -3. Maybe? Seattle Pacific Eastern -2. Wait, really? Oh no, -3. Okay, okay. See, so 21:30 British summertime, 22:30 Central European summertime, which is 4:30 p.m. Eastern, which is 3:30 p.m. Central, which is 2:30 Mountain, which is 1:30 Pacific, or if you're in Seattle, it's 1:30 Pacific. Which, yeah, time zones are fun. Just like you sending this video to somebody that you don't like. That's fun. Because you get to wind them up. And I've done all of that without having gone back to this shot. Because when in doubt, PrusABlok. Again, thank you for watching. This has been certainly something. And I'm really proud of the title of ADMINAGEDON because I think it worked. I think it was a good title for this one. Did I end that too abruptly? Because I don't know. I don't know. We'll find out next time. No, Joe, you're awesome. Thank you for watching.